Alright, Saturday. Need to get to work. I just met Keith this morning, took another trip in the Blue RS. I apologize, I should have recorded it, but we actually put the engine in the back seat because that car doesn't work. That one we need to tune. My wife's got the van, truck's still out for the transmission. So we had to take the blue car, throw this long block in it, but luckily, so I didn't pull my back out again, I was able to sneak the cherry picker in there and pull it out of the back seat. So I got the engines lined up side by side. I'm gonna get some tools in my tool cart. This morning I went and picked up this stubby Milwaukee 3/8. Rumor had it that these would actually take off lug nuts, and I was looking for a little guy to put in the race car for service on stage since my 1/2-inch rigid is enormous. And sure enough, I tested it on the front lug nuts of this earlier today, and on level 3, it did take them off. So I'm actually going to use this around the shop a bunch. It takes the CP style battery, so it's very light and compact. This will be great to have in a little box in the back of the rally car to help. So I am partial to rigid for the price, but I'm really enjoying these two Milwaukee tools. I got a couple batteries for them. So this with a 3 amp-hour CP style battery should be pretty awesome. Anyways, enough chatting. I'm gonna get back to work. We're gonna do this quick and dirty. Basically, we're gonna just transfer everything over and just replace minimal gaskets if we have to. I think I have these from a customer kit. Valve covers, we didn't get the gaskets in time, so I'm gonna use part store ones, even though I use OEM almost everything. It's only gonna go on for one race, so I'm gonna get a bunch of stuff transferred over, then we're gonna go to the store and get valve cover gaskets. I'm going to reuse my exhaust gaskets for right now, just because I just need to get this in here started, make this one race. I don't want to spend a bunch of money on gaskets because this is a borrowed motor. It's a 207 that we're borrowing from Keith, and then we're going to build a motor, so there's no sense in putting all new gaskets on it when it's going to sit. So we're going to buzz that off, transfer everything over as long as it looks like it's in good shape. Do a little discovery. Tomorrow morning we're going to have to pick up on this because I do need to replace the gaskets for the TGVs. These have been on here for a really long time, so I don't want to risk a leak there, but I'm going to try to reuse some other gaskets, which I do not advise, but considering this is only got to last for 70, 80 miles, should be okay. So I'm going to record as I go, start switching stuff over. Starting to get the timing stuff crossed over. Broke the cam pulleys loose and everything. I was rushing and I forgot to align the crank up so that all the valves were in the middle, and put the holder on them before I turned the belt off. Doesn't really matter because we're not using this motor anymore, but mistake on my part. So when you see that in the video, that's obviously not the right way to do it when you're going to be continuing to use the motor, because you could ding one of the valves or do some damage to the motor. But that motor shot, and this one obviously was already set up. So I'm going to cross everything over, but before I put anything else on here, I think I'm going to run to the store, the parts store, and get some valve cover gaskets, because I kind of want to bolt the valve covers up and let those seal before going any further. I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow morning for the water pump gasket. Oh, actually, I have one for the Forester, which I'm pretty sure is the same. Yeah, this should be the same gasket for all turbo Subarus. So that would be nice, because then I can get this done up too. Yeah, it's the same. Alright, so I'm going to run and get the valve cover gaskets. Hopefully I have this O-ring here that goes right here. I don't want to reuse that, and I'm thinking that I have a extra water pump seal, the one that goes over here. I don't want to use that either, even though we're doing this race few miles. You don't want to risk stuff like that. So hopefully I've got those two. Run to get the valve cover gaskets, and then I'm going to start reassembling that, transfer that bracket over here, which means I can put the timing thing back on and get this back in time. So I'd like to get that buttoned up, and then tomorrow morning when the TGV to head gaskets come in, we can transfer the top part over. So I'm going to run to the store and I'll be right back. Just about to put this old water pump on this other block, and I noticed that there's some metal chunks in there, and also it has a weird sound. I'm gonna do it now, but it was rubbing on something like that. Right there. There's something stuck in there, so I don't really want to trust that, even though we're not going long. But luckily I don't have to buy a new one. I'm going to take this one off of David's old block. I just pulled the bolts on it and it sounds good. Luckily, since we have a bunch of blocks laying around, we have some options. So I'm going to use this one. This one's nice and quiet, so we're going to throw this one on there for now. Okay, change of plans. I did have plans tonight, and I was going to pick up on the car tomorrow morning because I was waiting on some parts, but my friend Dave that works at Subaru picked them up for me. They had everything but the gaskets, so I just went and got some cheap, well, not cheap, but Felpro valve cover gaskets. And then I got the rest of the couple OEM gaskets that I was looking for. I did check my spare seal kit from doing other various jobs, and I do have the correct gasket I need for the oil pump. So we should be good to go. However, I don't know if you saw it in the time lapse, but when I started putting the water pump on, this bolt right here is stripped out in this block. I'm not sure how. I don't know. I guess it was stripped out from the last time somebody used it. I was going to leave it, but I'm going to try to tap it real quick since I don't really have anything else on. It'd be easy enough to just pull this back off and try to tap it. After that, I'm going to wait till my buddy gets here so that we can put the oil pump on using Fujibond. I do have some Permatex Gray, which I'm sure will work, but since Fujibond's on its way, I might as well use it because I know for sure that it works. So I am going to try to tap this out, put this back on, then I'm going to switch to the valve covers and get that going, and then Dave will be here with the other gaskets. And my guess is that tonight we should have this whole thing on here ready to drop in. So might do that, might put it in tomorrow. We'll have to see. This is a fresh rebuild 207, so I do need to break it in sort of like 150 miles, put some break-in oil on it and change it a few times, get any metal shavings out from seat and rings and everything, and then should be ready to send it. So it's going to take a little while to put that many miles on the car, and we have a race in 3 weeks from yesterday, so need to get this done kind of quickly, but so let's get on it. Update, forgot to turn off the time lapse again. As you can see, we made a lot of progress. Sorry about that. Things got put together quickly, so we did the water pump over. Both the covers, plugs, and coils are on, sealed up, torqued. Intake's back on. We only replaced the gasket down here because we didn't separate them. And about to do the oil pump. Put it all back together. We got to put the turbo on and stuff, and then I'm going to take apart this thing and see how it looks. later on. See how much damage. We replaced the PCV hose too because this one didn't want to come off, so we got a new one of those. I'll throw it back on the time lapse for the rest of it. It's a video, but it updates 20 times speed, so okay, the battery died, but we ended up getting the rest of the timing buckled up. We just pulled the old oil pan off the rally car, which we're transferring stuff over. Put some fresh gaskets on, clean this up. I did want to show you this though. Definitely a lot of metal shavings in there. It looks, hopefully that comes across on camera, but it's pretty pearly. So I'm gonna flapper disc this and get it cleaned up, clean this out pretty good, and then we'll throw it on. It's almost done. Last update, 10:20, it's done. This thing was running in the car a couple days ago. Got the motor, got home at like 1:30 today, and then had to go around and get a bunch of stuff. 10:20, it's all put back together. Here's the old one. You can see it's seen some heat. Exhaust valves are white. Kind of excited to take this one apart and see. It smells like ethanol, but it doesn't look too bad. This one's ready to go. Just put the turbo on it. We had one hose brake and one boost line T and one water pump bolt strip. Otherwise, went together no problem. That's pretty good. It looks a little crusty because we reused everything, but should run good. Now we get to put it back in that dirty mess.